Teacher stormed into class and yelled, "Who here watches anime?" Her face was red. I'd never seen her this angry. 10 of us raised our hands, including me. "All of you outside, now!" We filed out, confused. "What are we doing out here?" I asked, but she wouldn't answer, just looked at me like I was the reason rent prices were so high. Then she turned around and started leading us through the hallways in silence. I turned to my buddy John. "Where do you think we're going?" "I don't know, dude, but with how mad she is, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Valhalla." We ended up at the principal's office. The principal was there, waiting. So was a police officer. My stomach dropped. We all sat down. The officer had a notepad. Nobody was talking. We were all staring at each other. What the hell was happening? The teacher stood at the front, arms crossed. "All of you watch anime, correct?" We nodded. "Who here has seen Dragon Ball Z?" 9 hands went up. One kid's hand stayed down. Dexter piped, "You haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, dude? Yo, you gotta watch it." "Shut up, idiot," the teacher interrupted Dexter. "You!" She pointed at the kid who hadn't seen Dragon Ball. Back to class. She'd just called Dexter an idiot, and the principal didn't even flinch. Whatever happened had to have been really serious. The teacher continued, "Who here has seen Naruto?" 2 more kids lowered their hands. "You two, leave." 7 of us left now. I looked at John. He was pale, hands gripping his knees. "Who here has seen One Piece?" 3 kids shook their heads. "Out." Just 5 of us now. Me, John, and 3 others. My heart was pounding. The officer was taking notes on his clipboard. "Who here draws anime? Like manga art?" the teacher asked. The 3 other kids hesitated, then shook their heads. Back to class. Just me and John left. The teacher stared at us. Her jaw was clenched. "You two, back to the classroom. We'll call you later." We stood up immediately and walked out in silence. In the hallway, John's hands were shaking. "Dude, what was that?" I whispered. "I don't know, man." Something in his voice sounded wrong. We got back to class. Everyone stared at us. "What happened?" someone asked. We didn't answer. The rumors started immediately. Whispers spreading through the room. Lunch came and went. I couldn't eat. After lunch, the teacher walked back in. "You two," she pointed at me and John. "I need you to grab one of your anime drawings. Bring it to the principal's office." My mouth went dry. We went to our lockers. I grabbed my sketchbook. John grabbed his. We walked to the office together. John wasn't talking. His face was white. We entered the office. The principal was there. The officer, the teacher, and someone else. The teacher's daughter. She was in our class, but she hadn't raised her hand earlier. "Why is she here?" I asked. Nobody answered. The teacher held out her hand. "Your drawings." We gave her our sketchbooks. She handed them to her daughter. The daughter flipped through my entire booklet, then through John's, then mine, then John's again. Finally, she stopped on one page, the most recent one, the one with the new art style John had been working on. Her finger pointed down. "That's it." The police officer stood up. He walked to John. "You have the right to remain silent." Handcuffs. John's voice cracked. "What? What are you doing?" "We're taking you to the station. We advise you cooperate." The officer was leading John to the door. John looked back at me. "I didn't do anything. Tell them." I couldn't move, couldn't speak. The door closed. John was gone. The daughter left the room. I stood there, shaking. "Is anyone going to explain what the hell just happened?" I asked, relieved but worried at the same time. The principal leaned back in his chair. "Remember how your class did Secret Santa last week?" I nodded. "Well, someone gave her daughter a gift." He gestured at the teacher. "It was a hand-drawn manga, detailed, multiple pages." I was confused. "What's wrong with a manga as a present?" That's when the teacher's voice cut through, ice cold. "That manga he gave her showed my underage daughter in inappropriate scenarios with characters from Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece." I stared at her as tears filled her eyes. "Someone drew my daughter as lowly content and gave it to her as a Secret Santa gift." The room was spinning. "Because it was Secret Santa, we didn't know who made it, so we staged this." The principal gestured around. "The questions, the filtering, all of it." I sat down. "Damn, and John Deadass snitched on himself, huh?"